self-love hypnotherapist. Self-worth. Self-worth
One and the same.
hypnotherapist, okay? So I got to know her briefly through her coming to some of our other events, and I'm so excited. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you got to make sure you do that. Again, your recap emails, we'll have her link. We've sent it ahead of time, but you do a great job on there as well. So she is going to have a quick 10 to 15-minute chat with y'all to get you in the right headspace and making some deep connections here before we move into our speaking.
Let me turn my board.
Oh, and I have my whistle here. It needs to be so loud you guys
I had to get fancy with my board. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Adriana. As Lori said, I am a self-worth hypnotherapist, which is a really fancy way of saying that I'm an expert of the subconscious mind. And I help my clients uncover their subconscious blocks so that way they can truly step into their own being and live a life in alignment with who they are. And one of the most common situations I see with my clients is that they show up, and let me know if you resonate with this. Raise your hand if you've ever been in a conversation with someone and you changed what you wanted to say because you were scared of being judged. Yeah. Maybe you were in a work situation and you had this really cool out-of-the-box idea, but you thought, maybe this is a little too out of the box. So you changed to be something more in line with what everyone else was saying. Or maybe you were in a conversation with someone you just met, and when they asked you what your hobbies were, instead of saying the truth and saying something like, I'm super into collecting old antiques, you say something a little bit more generic, like, I'm really into yoga and I love to travel. And then you leave the conversation feeling meh, right? And that meh feeling, that's feeling unseen. And of course you feel unseen, you just changed what you wanted to say in order to be liked or appreciated or not weird, right? And we all do it. But why? Why do we do it? And that's because as humans, our biggest fear is the fear of rejection. But here's the problem. Our mind doesn't know the difference between real rejection and perceived rejection. So that weird look you got from someone or that awkward pause in the conversation, your mind thinks it's the same thing as being exiled from the tribe. And so then you tell yourself, why did I say that? Oh gosh, this is why I don't have any friends. And then you start playing small, you start filtering yourself, you start changing your opinions just to be liked. We all do this, but we crave deep connections. We want deep relationships, but we're terrified of being real. But authenticity is the only way to true belonging. And so tonight we're doing it differently, because the more you go unseen, the more you feel unseen, the scarier it is to show up as yourself. And even though you want deep aligned relationships, you have to show yourself. You can't hide, you can't wear the mask, because then you don't give people the chance to get to know the real you. So tonight, I'm going to show you why we change our behavior in order to fit in. And by the end, I'm hoping you trust me when I say that when you show up as the real you in these conversations tonight, that is your chance at making real aligned connections. So we start with the subconscious mind. And when we're born a blank slate. We're actually only born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud sounds. So that means that fear of rejection, it's learned. And if it's been learned, it can be unlearned. And so what happens is between the ages of 0 and 8, we start to develop our programming. And we're just collecting data. Everything we experience, everything we see, everything we hear, we're being collected in our subconscious mind as truth. And this is because our critical mind doesn't start getting developed until the ages of 9 and 10. So what does this mean? This means that when you hear little Cindy getting made fun of on the playground because she's laughing too loud, you learn, oh my gosh, okay, I can't laugh too loud. I don't want to get made fun of. I can't laugh too loud. I have to make sure I don't laugh too loud. Okay. This means when you hear little Kathy getting made fun of on the school bus because she likes to read and someone calls her a nerd, you learn, okay, I guess I can't like reading then. I don't want to be called a nerd. I'm just not going to like to read anymore. This means when you hear mom and dad at home saying, no one likes a little girl that cries, you learn, okay, I can't be too emotional. Okay, all right, I'll get it together. I'm never going to be too emotional again. This all lives in our subconscious minds, and we go about our life without questioning it. And this is what happens. We then develop our conscious mind between the ages of 11 and 14. Let me show you what happens. One day, you're 31 years old, you're living in Houston, you get an you get an invite to go to an event, meet some cool girls, meet some new relationships. You tell yourself, I'm going to be myself, I'm going to be confident, this is going to be good. Okay, cool. Well, that's consciously. Your conscious mind is in charge of your logic, reasoning, decision-making, willpower, and ability to analyze. But here's the problem. Your conscious mind is only 12% of your mind. Your subconscious is 88%. And because I know we're all smart, independent women, I know you can tell me which one is going to win, the 12% or the 88%. The 88, because it's a bigger number, right? So when you're that 31-year-old, you're like, I'm going to be myself, and it's going to be awesome. And then you walk through those doors, your first conversation, you change what you want to say a little bit. Playing a little small, filtering yourself a little bit, because the 88% always wins. And this is what I find that the 88% tells you. It tells you 3 big lies about what it means to be yourself. Lie number 1. I have to be more cool, funny, or impressive in order to be liked. It's not true. Think about it. When you're scrolling on Instagram, which are the influencers that you feel the most connected to? Is it the lady with the perfect living room, with the perfect family, making the perfect dinner? Or is it the sleep-deprived mom who's in her pajamas at 3 a.m. dancing in front of her newborn because she's just so tired and needs 30 minutes to herself? Yeah, we don't like perfection. We don't connect with perfection because we cannot see ourselves in somebody else if you're trying to be perfect. We connect with realness. So you don't have to try harder to be someone you're not. You have to try harder to be you. And lie number 2, if I'm too much, I'll push people away. So you learn, I'm too opinionated, I'm too emotional, I'm too loud. If I'm too me, I'll push people away. Here's the problem. When you are yourself, it's like a radio frequency. So when you tone yourself down a little bit to not be too much, your people can't find your frequency. So be too much. Be too opinionated. Be too loud. Because those are the moments your people will recognize you. And so lie number 3. If I'm myself, I'll be rejected. There's that fear of rejection. But have you ever fact-checked your fear of rejection? Because I think if you fact-checked your fear of rejection, you'd realize it's not really rejection at all. Because if you're being yourself and it's not someone's vibe, that's a good thing. It's filtering. It's letting you know, that's not my person. And now you have space. Now you have space for your people to step into your life. So is it really rejection or is it just redirection? These lies are not true. And if they go unnoticed, if you don't start fact-checking them, they will continue to control your behavior and make you live out of alignment with who you want to be. And if my whiteboard drawing isn't enough for you, here's this. Energy speaks louder than words. And so, I'm sure you've been in a conversation with someone who you could feel was being genuine, right? Or more importantly, you know when someone's not being genuine. You feel it, right? And that's because we're humans, we're intuitive. We can sense energy, and it's not woo-woo, it's not crazy, it's energy, it's physics. And so when we show up as ourselves, we create a magnetic energy around us. And it creates an invisible sense of safety. And that safety leads to trust. That trust leads to connection. That connection is what leads to deep, meaningful relationships. Because when you show up as yourself, it gives off this energy of, this is me. I trust that it'll land with the people it's meant to land with. And I trust that I'll be okay if it doesn't. And that's powerful energy. Because when you are comfortable being yourself, it gives other people permission to be themselves. It lets them know that it's okay for them to let their guard down, to take down their masks and show their real, authentic self. It's like a ripple effect that it creates. Because people trust others who feel safe enough to be themselves, and then they want to do the same. So be confident, but what does that mean? It means stop playing small, stop filtering yourself, and show up fully, completely, unconditionally yourself, because then it creates this magnetic energy around you that then people feel confident in being themselves around you too. So these lies, they're lies. They don't belong in your subconscious mind. So tonight we're doing it differently, and we're doing it without the lies. We're dropping the masks. We're leaving the filters at the door. We're putting our insecurities in our back pocket, and we're showing up as ourselves, real, authentic, and messy. Because tonight we're showing our subconscious mind new information, true information. To be you. Have fun, enjoy yourselves, and know that the more you are, the more you can trust that your people will find you.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, I want to drop this. Right?
No, it'll hurt you.
I had chills while she was talking. Anyone else? I mean, I was saying to my husband the other day, I was like, I feel like it's so weird. I was talking more about nervousness, you know, whether you're an athlete, getting into the plate, or speaker, or whatever. And I was like, we all know that everyone feels that way. It's normal to be nervous or insecure, but why do we still all feel it? Like, when is it going to just, like, stop? Because of alcohol. So.